It's Monday, July 1st, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On today's show, Discover Barnstable is back for another year and has expanded. Town golf courses go organic. Learn more about emerging contaminants of concern, and we review the new drop-off and pickup areas at the ferries on Ocean Street. Now for a look at municipal news and legislative notes. Council seats in odd-number precincts in the town of Barnstable are up for re-election this fall. Tuesday, July 23rd is the last day to obtain nomination papers for the town election, and Tuesday, July 30th is the last day to submit nomination papers for the registrar's office for certification. Check your voter registration. October 16th is the last day residents may register to vote or may make any changes to their registration. The town election is set for Tuesday, November 5th. Backed by popular demand and now expanded to 3 days a week at Bismore Park and the Hyannis Harbor Overlook, the Gateway Greeter program, Discover Barnstable, has once again partnered with various town departments in developing fun, free, interactive talks and activities in July and August. Families are invited to participate in a wide variety of organized and educational activities exploring services and programs, which enhances the quality of life and supports the needs of our community. Discover Barnstable is back, expanded for the third year. This is a wonderful program put on down at Bismore Park and now this year at the Harbor Overlook, and it details all the different departments and services that the town of Barnstable provides. With me today, Bismore greeter Grace Rogers. Grace, this program is exploded. There's so many cool things happening this year.
Yeah, it's grown. Originally, it started 2 years ago, and it started as a 2-week program through July and August, and now it's up to 21 days. And like you said, we expanded to the Hyannis Harbor Overlook, so we're very excited to continue on this season. Excuse me.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. What is this really about? I said that it was about the town of Barnstable, but kind of when you look at all the different departments out there, why did you do this?
So it started with the Gateway Greeter program down at Bismore Park. And Planning and Development started to create this program that started to showcase all the departments of town services. So it's a very good way to connect with the community, but also educate them and engage with them about everything that the town of Barnstable has to offer.
Excellent. And it starts in July, the week after 4th of July, which seems to be running for 2 weeks now since it's right in the middle of the week. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that folks can expect.
So we have a variety of different things. It's really exciting. Every day is almost a new day when a town department comes down. We have the libraries that come down and they do a wonderful reading circle with the kids. They do crafts. A really popular program is done by environmental. They come down with the sea turtles. The kids love that. Everybody loves asking questions, learning about the beaches, Sandy Neck, everything that lives in the water that we don't see on a regular basis. Yeah. And another one that's really popular is animal control. They come down with all of their animals. They talk about coyotes, which are now on the Cape, as we all know. What else do they talk about? They talk a lot about
there are foxes and the
foxes. Yeah, excuse me.
Yeah.
And obviously vaccinating your pets and things like that.
Right. And I know that Channel 18 is new this year. We're going to go down to Bismarck. We're going to bring down some equipment down there and have people basically be on TV. So we'll be recording folks down there for an afternoon, which we're really excited about, having people there. And I was there at the airport last year. The airport brings a simulator.
Yes, they do, and everybody can hook up to it and actually experience what it's like to actually pilot a plane. Right. Yes, that was a huge hit last season.
That's so much fun. So when do these take place?
They take place the first week of July through the last week of August, the 23rd being the last day. It's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Friday is at Bismore Park from 4 to 5, and then at the Hyannis Harbor Overlook on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:30.
Wow. And when we look at the schedule for this, how can people, because we've got the schedule, but how can people get the schedule so they know when this stuff is?
So there's a banner at Bismore Park that displays every single month. So for July will be up, August will be up. So when they change over, please go down to Bismore Park and look. We also have programs at all of our town locations, and it's also online on the town website.
That is fantastic. Bismore Welcome Center, it's like right in front, right there in the harbor, right?
180 Ocean Street.
Right, and they're able to do the shanties while they're there. The kids can do some fun stuff with the program. One of the ones that I really thought was kind of cool this year is the Clean Water Coalition is there. Tell us a little bit about how they landed in for the town.
So I was actually reached out by one of the town employees that had a really good working relationship with them, and they said we would love for the Clean Water Coalition to come down, and so they're going to come down, talk about shellfishing on the Cape, and they're actually going to put on several demonstrations. So we're excited to have them this year.
Right, well there's a Flupsy right down at the end of the harbor, and if people don't know what that is, they should go to this, because I think there's going to be a tour to see it, right?
Yes, there is.
That is fantastic. And the overlook, just for people who don't know, is on the corner of Ocean and South?
Yes, you can't miss it when you go by the lights.
Excellent, and the shanty's there too, so you can shop and have some fun.
Yep.
Excellent. Anything else you want people to know about the Discover Barnstable?
Just keep looking for updates on our Instagram page, which is Park Happy Barnstable.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Grace.
Thank you, Paula.
The town's commitment to the environment and its water extends across all departments. We have an update on the new organics program being implemented at our 2 municipal golf courses. Director of Golf Operations, Bruce McIntyre, has more.
Golf course maintenance is it's a combination of mowing, cultural practices, aerating, top dressing, and water management, chemical management, fertility management. These are all things that go into the pot of making a golf course work traditionally. So it is a new day at Barnstable Golf. As we bring in the new season for 2019, we also bring in a lot of other things into the fold. Effective beginning of July, Barnstable Golf will start transitioning from a traditional mode of maintenance into an all-organic, pesticide-free mode. And we're in the process of embracing new protocols and new policies that the town has set forth. And it's going to be a very long transition, but at the same time, and it is a challenge, we're trying to embrace this and we'll put everything that we can into it with all means at our disposal to try to keep the courses in the same kind of condition and keep our standards to what people expect them to be moving forward. Traditional golf course maintenance is something that would embrace the components of proper mowing, proper fertilizing, proper application of plant protectants or pesticides, whichever you'd like to call them, as well as water, and applying that using integrated pest management programs, best management practices set forth by the state and the major universities, and always with an emphasis on less is more, and the environment is always the #1 consideration when choosing a product to use. Well, I think that some of the biggest things are obviously traditional methods. If we speak about fungus that grows on the golf course in the course of the summer, the hot, humid nights lead to fungal invasions. Those are things that we need to take care of or we're going to lose significant turf. The same thing with insects. Most people put out some grub control to keep the Japanese beetle grubs out of their lawns. We deal with an entirely different host of fellas out here. You won't find them in their lawn. They're very difficult to control. But traditional maintenance, we would preventatively, looking at history, make applications to keep these buggers away. If our fertility isn't proper, if we're not giving the plant recuperative potential, the traffic on the tees, greens, and fairways, because we're maintaining them every single day, not like mowing your home lawn once a week or so at 2.5 inches or 3 inches. We're maintaining turf at 1/2 inch down to 1/8 of an inch. And so with that brings a whole lot of host of different activities, one of which is doing everything you can to take stress off the plant and help it make it through the summer months without dying. Chris White, the Director of Golf Maintenance, and I have been kind of on a whirlwind tour for the last month. We've met with university experts in the field. We have traveled to nearby golf courses that have aspired to be all organic. We've dealt with technical reps from major corporations all over the country, And we've also spent a great deal of time communicating and meeting with Dr. Frank Rossi from Cornell University. He's the nation's foremost leading authority on organic golf course maintenance. He's very heavily involved in Suffolk and Nassau counties on Long Island in their extremely stringent programs that they have down there. They're the toughest pesticide and fertilizer rules in the country. He's the guy that writes programs for them for the state of New York at Bethpage Park in Long Island. And we've taken all of the research that we could find on this and worked together to come up with the protocols that are working for people that are being successful to certain degrees. And we're going to be adopting these new protocols, which is going to take us some time. People need to be patient with the change. You're going to see some new and different things on the golf course. This is not this is not a fast transition, but it's something that we're looking at. Probably it's going to take the next 3 years to get where we want to go. The ultimate reward would be to be able to say we would be the first all-organic or pesticide-free golf course that I think anybody can think of. It is rather unprecedented, and we're going to do everything we can to meet the challenge. I think it's important for people to understand that a number of the new practices and programs that we're going to run are going to take time. And that time is in the morning predominantly. I can see, based upon the frequency, most of the programs are very frequent, where I might spray a fungicide on the fairways once in a month. We will be spraying every week. People need to understand that the sprayers will be out on a regular basis, and that there are going to be numerous times where the back nine is not going to be available to golfers because we're simply going to have too many different new programs to get into place if we're going to be successful. So again, we ask people to bear with us. It's hard to schedule these things. If we say we want to spray an organic fungicide on the fairways on a Wednesday and it pours out that day, we can't do it. But Thursday we might have to do it, and we might have to displace some golfers, and that's something that we've never done traditionally, and we've always tried to be out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, and have the golf courses fully accessible at all opportunities. This is something that might change that a little bit. It's all new to us. It's going to take us this summer as a trial and error just to get our feet wet in the program, so to speak. The ultimate goal would be to decrease our footprint, if not eliminate our footprint on the environment, by reducing or eliminating inputs and sticking with an organic protocol that hopefully the town of Barnstable can be a leader now and in the future as to taking a bold step in the name of public safety, in the name of the environment, the groundwater underneath us, and our children and our children's children down the road. You know, nothing said everything was intended to be easy. This is going to be a challenge, and we hope that people will bear with us and cooperate with us and understand and consider that we're doing a lot of new and different things, but at the end of the day, the purpose is right, the end result is good, and hopefully it'll stimulate other municipalities to consider such an option, and maybe, just maybe, if we're as successful as we hope to be, that private industry will follow us in that same goal.
Channel 18 spent a day out at the Hyannis Water System Mahar well fields to learn more about how our drinking water gets from the ground to our faucets and the steps in between to maintaining drinking water standards. Barnstable Water Division Supervisor Hans Kaiser breaks down the processes and terminology for emerging contaminants.
Emerging contaminants are contaminants that we don't have any regulation for and that are new. We haven't really tested before for them, and sometimes the testing needs to happen at such a low level that the laboratory equipment that we used to have or we had access to wasn't able to do that, and now the equipment is much better, so now those contaminants starting to show up, and we have to figure out what that means, if they're okay, if they're harmful, at what levels are they okay, at what levels are they harmful, and if they are, how do you take them out?
There's two things. One, those with those snouts on it, you know, where the tape is off, those are more for sampling. But you take samples to make sure you don't get contaminated water, okay? Those have to do with the analyzers. What happens is the chlorine, the pH, which is the corrosion issue, they get sampled constantly, 24/7. And how that works is we run water by them and then dump a little water that gets kind of wasted. So we sample constantly, every minute or so. And then that gets translated into an electronic pulse, and that goes into the system that we just saw, that screen, and then it goes to the main headquarters.
PFAS is basically a group of chemicals, there's like a couple of hundred of them, with all different, very long, difficult chemical names. But basically they deal with issues they are in firefighting foams, they're on Gore-Tex, they're basically dealing with making materials waterproof, so they repel water, and these chemicals are one of the many emerging contaminants, and we're finding out now that these chemicals can be harmful. At what levels and for who is being right now researched. At this moment, we're looking at 6 PFASs, and at this moment, there's an ORSG out, and it's like a health standard for Massachusetts that is 70 parts per trillion, and they're talking about going down to 20, but it hasn't happened yet. So what we're trying to do here in Hyannis is to deal with this issue and to position ourselves with pumping out of certain wells and testing so that we can be under 20 as much as we can. Complicating the issue is because we're in a pretty urban environment and our wells are, that we do have wells that are contaminated above that level. Especially Mary Dunn, but there's 3 wells there that were impacted by the Fire Training Academy, and the filtration systems were installed in those wells with activated carbon in them, and after we run the water through those, we get a non-detect, so that water is good after we treat it.
Change has come to Ocean Street parking and ferry pickups and drop-offs. Liz Hartsgrove, Assistant Director of Planning and Development, joins us in studio with the latest on the new changes and drop-offs and ferry pickups at Bismore Park. Change is hard, we know, but changes to safety are really, really important. And I'm with Assistant Director of Planning and Development, Liz Hartsgrove, with just another update on Bismore Park and Ocean Street and ride sharing and parking at the ferry terminal for Highline. Liz, First weekend out there, obviously a big Memorial Day weekend was the start to our season. How did it go?
It went good, actually. As far as the team is concerned, we did everything that we were supposed to do. I'm really super proud of my team. We had police details down there. Even Yarmouth took a couple of details to help out. We had the parking resource officers, the pros down there in full force, helping out with educating people, and as well as the greeters fully staffed. So we really focused on that south lot of Bismore to make sure the public safety component of it, balancing all of the transportation demands down there as well as the operations of the harbor, and then also the economic development or economic components of it with the restaurants and the artist shanties and the walkways to the sea. So all of those things, our staff did an amazing job of really trying to keep everyone safe and moving in the right direction. So now it's a matter of retraining. Like you said, that change is hard, so we have to keep working on just informing people of the changes and that it's okay and it's for their safety and that it's actually much easier for them now.
Right. So let's talk a little bit, we'll recap some of those changes specifically to rideshare. It has proliferated over the last couple of years. One of the easiest ways to get to and from places is an Uber or a Lyft or some other type of rideshare, but they're the ones who are coming and going and not quite where they're going. They're Nantucket Street now is where they're going?
Yeah, we've actually dedicated a nice safe area for them to wait. Instead of waiting in a paid parking space at Bismore Park, where it's really challenging for them to pull in and out of a space and unload. It's so much easier now that the passengers can walk right off the boat and cross at a crosswalk and walk to Nantucket Street and find their rideshare waiting for them there. As of right now, we're really discouraging people from parking in the Ocean Street lot or the Ocean Street parking spaces. That is perpendicular to traffic, so it is not safe at all. It's really primarily for people who are parking from 1 to 6 hours. It's not meant for 15 or even 5-minute parking.
Right. And then your shuttle buses and some of the larger vehicles down there also have their own area as well. And again, all for safety.
It is. It's all for safety, but again, those are dedicated spaces for the large capacity vehicles. Right. So when a school bus or a shuttle or even the trolley, the RTA trolley is now working on weekends. And so those are for large capacity, number of people coming, offloading and boarding onto those vehicles. And we have had some issues this weekend where Uber or the ride shares, even personal vehicles, will occupy that space because they see it available, and we can see the large vehicles coming down the road and we're like, oh my gosh, no, you need to get into a space. So it's a matter, again, of educating and retraining people.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can the general public help? I know that, if you're going over to Nantucket or you're coming back from the islands, there's folks out there that are renting houses and hotels. How can the general public help get this change effective down there?
That's a great question. So they need to be familiar with it. They need to understand and read the press releases. If they can't figure it out, call me, and that'll actually be a good sign for me that I need to do a better job of communicating out and getting it an easier format for people to understand. But if it is in a good format that they easily can understand, my suggestion is to print it out, make copies of it, display it in your rental, get it to the people that are occupying your bed, your bed and breakfast, or your guests that are coming, like my family members. If they want to go down to the harbor, I'm going to have to show them, okay, and advise them correctly. We're here to set everyone up for success, and everybody should know that those changes have been made, and we are managing it now. So we have a full staff that is going to protect the safety of the area.
Right. And let's just reiterate as well, is that if you have a physical challenge,
Yes.
Or a disability, that there is spots there for you in
Yes.
Highline's own lot.
That's correct. And Highline is accepting passengers. It's not that we're saying no. We're saying no on the town property because that's not what it was meant for. It's meant to balance the economic components of it as well as the harbor activity. Well, our town purchased that property for the whole community, not for depending on one particular entity of demand. So Highline, that's their job, that is their business, that is literally their business, is to accept passengers departing and arriving. So we are instructing people to utilize their lot, and it's a nice, safe off-road location that they can actually pull in, unload, or load their passengers. So
Right, and they have shuttles to all of their parking now.
they do, and it's multiple shuttles. And
Right.
so, and that was another reason why we actually carved out a space on Ocean Street for those shuttles. You know, this past weekend, even Friday and Saturday, we saw 4 or 5 shuttles every time a ferry came in or was about to leave. So that's a lot of movement in that lot. So again, nice, safe location for passengers to wait, and it worked perfectly. The large capacity vehicles worked excellent this weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that address for the website so they can print out those documents and look at the maps?
Sure, it's within the Planning and Development website, and it's the parking division, and we have the press release section for it.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Liz.
Thanks, Paula.
Up next, things to do, places to go, and people to meet. The Cape Cod Hydrangea Festival is an annual celebration of the region's blue, pink, and white signature flowers and everything gardens on Cape Cod. This 10-day festival will be held July 12th through the 21st. Highlights include daily tours of private gardens, each designed and maintained by the individual homeowners and carrying a unique charm. You are sure to enjoy such eclectic spaces, not to mention the good feeling of supporting a variety of local nonprofits, which will benefit from the proceeds of each tour. Peruse the gardens and find out more information at CapeCodHydrangeaFest.com. Comments, suggestions, accolades? Connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works for you. I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.